ho, ho, Merry Christmas, beautiful Facebook people, beautiful Huddleites. It is close to that time of year, the Christmas season, with holiday cheer. And I've got something for you because I know there's so many of y'all right now. You're like, first of the year. I'm cutting it all out. Until then, I'm going to go crazy. And I'm going to eat whatever I want. But first of the year, I'm going to cut things out. Well, today, I'm going to show you the highest calorie ingredient on the planet. But it's invisible. And almost no one ever cuts it out. So if they don't cut out this invisible ingredient, then their New Year's are going to kind of be a little bit rough because they're going to lose a few pounds, gain a few pounds, lose a few pounds, gain a few pounds, up and down, left to right, forwards, back, because of this invisible ingredient. And when you take it out, watch how fast your fat falls off. That's what we're going to talk about today. Let's roll that intro.
Good morning. Merry Christmas. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, Daily Huddle. Good morning to each and every one of you that has made the decision and the commitment to join us on the Daily Huddle. My name is Vince Rountree, Rawlin, Vanatta, and I are the co-hosts of the Health, Wellness, and Vitality Show, and we are on every Tuesday morning, and we are here to give you a piece of information that can have a dramatic impact on your life and on your health. And this morning, we are going to talk about the highest calorie dense food on planet Earth. It's invisible and it is ubiquitous. It is all over. It is in everything. Literally, if you go through the grocery store and pick up 10 different items, and if it's in a package, I'll bet it's in at least 9 of them. That's right.
9.5 of them.
Over the place, and you don't know about it. After today, you will. But before we get to that, got a couple of questions. First up, I gotta ask, I'm not sure if my man Giovanni, who is on the go, can answer me. I'm not quite sure if he's on, but if he is, how are you this morning, my friend?
I am the way I say I am, and today I am resourceful.
You are resourceful. Of course you're resourceful. You're doing everything that you need to do. You're traveling. You're looking fantastic. I can tell that you are about to present and get in front of some people and change some lives. That's why you are resourceful as you are. My next, oh my goodness, we got Stacy Robinson, and looks like his significant other is with him as well. Well, I gotta go to them.
That's Mastermind
Ask them where they are. I'm so happy to see the 2 of them in the house. Welcome, Stacy Robinson and partner.
Mastermind Josanya. That's who that is.
You know,
what was your question?
Good morning.
My question is, where are you this morning? Where are you? Looking good.
Listen, come on. You already know the answer to that. Listen, as the great Rakim Allah has said, it ain't where you from, it's where you at. And since you came here, you got to show and prove.
Put that Mickey Jam on the groove. Oh my God. That's what I'm talking about. Good morning. Thank you for that, Stacy. And last time, Stan the man. What time you got, brother? What time you got, Stan?
Hey, I got the only time the day is now, brother. Now. The time is now.
The time is now. You are here. You are as you say you are. And that's the only thing that you can, and if you can understand those things, you can lower your stress, because there's no sense in worrying about tomorrow. It ain't here yet. No sense worrying about the past. It's already gone. Live in today. Live in the now. Be as you say you are. Now let's get to this topic that my partner and I is going to share with you on the most calorie dense item on the planet that is in everything. It's in everything. And here's the thing that makes it so tricky. There are some positive health components of it. And that makes you want to use more of it. Except it's making you gain weight. Oh my goodness, what a combination. Rawlin, why don't you set us up, man? Why don't you set us up?
So here's the crazy thing. How many of y'all kind of been planning first of the year? You're going to kind of do a little bit of extra stuff to lose a little bit of the extra stuff. Wave at me if anybody is planning on doing some extra stuff at the first of the year to get rid of some of their extra fluff, right? You're going to do some extra stuff to get rid of the extra fluff, right? Like even me, I'm like, I think I'm gonna whittle down some things. I was looking online yesterday. I was like, I think I need a personal trainer, like a fitness trainer, dude, to like whip me into shape, right? And I need that, right? And so, we help people lose tremendous amounts of weight and tremendous amounts of things, and but specifically through food. And I started thinking about this. Me and Vince talk about this a lot. And like, there's an invisible substance. It's the highest calorie substance on the earth. Some of it's got many positive health effects, yet it's invisible. You can't see it. And so it has a big deal on how much you actually lose when you start adjusting your weight. Like, most people would rather be able to do a little bit of effort and get a lot of output than do a lot of output and get a little input. How many of y'all have like exercised like mad and lost a itty bitty bit of weight? Wave at me if that's ever happened to you, right? You do it a lot of input, but then you just make this much difference, right? Then, but wouldn't it be nice if you could flip that and you do the little bit on the front end and you get a lot on the back end? And that's what we're going to talk about today. And this is going to work for you whether or not you adopt a plant-based diet or not, okay? From a weight loss perspective, this is going to work. If there's one lever that you can pull to make the most maximum amount of difference in your weight, that's what we're going to talk about today. So I'm going to share my screen, okay? I'm going to share my screen right quick. I'm going to go into a few things, and then we'll open it up for Q&As, because this is going to be real quick, and anything that Vince wants to add to this, because this is going to be pretty. Now, does everybody see why on my screen? Does everybody see why? All right, cool. All right. So I'm going to tell it to you. I'm not going to beat around the bush. It's sauces, dressings, and gravies is the food that this is mostly in. Sauces, dressings, and gravies. It's in a lot of stuff. It's in everything, but it's always high in sauces, dressings, and gravies. So why? Like, why would sauces, dressings, and gravy mess up? Like, how many of y'all have had a dressing? Like, right, you've eaten salad, and then all of a sudden you just don't lose as much weight as you expect after you eat salad, right? Have y'all ever experienced that? We have people experience that all the time. We say, here, make this one move. It'll transform their life, okay? So why is sauces, dressings, and gravy so important? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. Now, this is the red line cheat sheet, okay? This is the red line cheat sheet. Now, it's not the full sheet. This is a zoomed in version. But I want you to look at the very top. Like, and what this means is, as you go up, you go smaller in size, but higher in calories, okay? You go higher in calories. So what's that first top thing? Someone type in the chat for me. I'm going to pull up the chat right here so I can see it. What is that number one thing, that first thing, the top of the sheet? What is on there? I hope y'all can see. I got it. I've got a red box right. The man said oil. That's right. Now we're going to look at this. 4,000 calories per pound. 4,000. So imagine, I want you to imagine a pound of oil. Imagine a 16-ounce water bottle full of oil. Okay. Or one of those little, y'all seen one of them little oil containers that you like spring, you go like this, it's like vinegar and oil, and they're in those little clear containers. Y'all know what I'm talking about? That's about 16 ounces right there. Okay. All right. So that's about 4,000 calories. Okay. Now, the second most calorie dense thing on planet Earth is nuts and seeds. And they're about 2,000 to 2,500 calories per pound. Okay. So they're really, really high up there. So you want to knock them out too. But they're still half of the oil. They're still half. Okay. So that gives, but let's put this really into perspective for a second. Y'all look down there at the bottom. Someone tell me what I got right down there at the bottom. White potatoes. White potatoes? What are you talking about, Rawlin? White potatoes make you fat. Well, let's look at the math. I got this from my engineering buddy, Mr. Vince Rountree, right? A lot of people wonder why we're so successful at weight loss. And I tell them because Vince is an engineer. What do you mean? Like most people, you know, they go to doctors, nutritionists, all these different things, and these fitness trainers and strategies. But Vince is an engineer. And what does engineers do? Engineers figure out the principle and engineer a machine that works for you rather than against you, right? So you can put very little input in to get a lot of output, right? So I propose that, and Vince Rountree actually developed this, right? He developed this red line cheat sheet for your benefit using engineering principles. And he just decided to figure out the engineering principles of the body to make the least amount of effort in order to make the maximum amount of health difference, specifically in this regarded to weight loss. Now, I want you to say 318 calories per pound for white potatoes. Do y'all see that? 318. Compared to the oil, 4,000. Now, you might not really put that into perspective. So y'all seen one of those little bottles, right? Wave at me if y'all seen those bottles. Wave at me. Okay. So that's right. And you put a little bit in your skillet, right? You put a little bit on your salad. You use your bread and you dip a little bit of olive oil in it, right? You put a little bit in your seasonings, right? Maybe you drop a little lard. By the way, lard is also really high. It's like 4,000 calories per pound too. So, because it's a version of oil. So you put a little bit of lard, maybe a little bit of bacon grease in the greens, right? In those collards, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? So hold on now. Hold on. Now let's say we're going to compare that to potatoes. Taters. Well, white taters. Those things that make you so fat. Right? Oh, I'm being healthy. I'm going to put olive oil on it. I'm going to lose weight. And I'm going to put olive oil on my salad. Wait for a second. How many potatoes would it take to equal that 4,000 calories? Well, y'all know about a medium size. I'm not talking about a big old jumbo. I'm talking about a medium-sized baked potato. Would it take 4 of those? No. Would it take 8 of those? No. Would it take 12 of those? No. Would it take 16 of those? No. Would it take 20 of those? No. It would take 23 medium-sized baked potatoes to equal the same number of calories as in that little bitty itty-bitty bottle. What do y'all think about that? That's what we're talking about. Potatoes. That's a lot of potatoes, right, Vince? Do y'all think y'all could eat 23 baked potatoes in a day? Right? That's insanity, right? But guess what? See, people think, and this is the reason why I say it's invisible. See, butter is really high on the calorie density chart too, because it's high in fat. Okay? Now think about this. What do people put on their baked potato? Fat. Right? Hey. When you think about cutting out your carbs, what kind of potatoes do you start thinking about cutting out? Oh, French fries? Wait a minute. What are those things cooked in? What are those things cooked in? What about donuts? I'm going to cut out them carbs, them donutty carbs. What is a donut but like a sponge submerged in the oil, right? Y'all picking up what I'm putting down here? Stan says, but can I use a little butter? Well, what you can do is blend you up some whole raw cashews with some water and add salt. and then you've cut those calories by 2/3. Why would that matter? Well, because cashews blended with what? Cashews was high in fat, but it still got all the fiber, polyphenols, and it's about half the amount of calories as an oil, like a margarine or anything, right? That's made pure oil, or plant-based butter, pure oil, higher in calorie than regular butter. Okay, so let's talk about 87,600 calories. That's a lot of calories, huh? 87,600 calories. Is that a lot of calories? Can everybody agree that 87,000 calories is a lot of calories? Right? Well, now I want y'all to think about 43.8 days. Now I want you to imagine yourself for a second that let's pretend at the first of the year, January 1st, you decide you're not going to do nothing but drink water for 43.8 days. You go water fast for 43.8 days. You're going to try to do a Jesus out in the wilderness fasting for 40 days, right? Right? I don't want to do that. Do y'all want to do that? Like, I don't want to do that, right? But did you know? I want to talk about something. So 2 tablespoons. Rawlin, I don't use that oil. Can't I use a little bit? Just a little bit of French fries, just a little bit of potato chips, just a little bit of cake that's got the oil in it, just a little bit of donuts, just a little bit of that coffee creamer, just a little bit, Rawlin. What about for my eggs in the morning? What am I going to keep it from sticking? What? Rawlin. What about my vegetables? I'm trying to saute my vegetables. How am I going to saute my vegetables without a little bit of oil? Well, let's just okay. Let's say you only use 2 tablespoons a day. Let's say you only take out and remove 2 tablespoons. Does anybody think they can probably remove 2 tablespoons of oil a day? Wave at me if you think you could. And do you think that it might be easier to remove 2 tablespoons of oil a day than it would be to not eat for 43.8 days? Does anybody think it's probably easier just to remove 2 tablespoons of oil, right? Okay, well, let's do some math for a second. So remember that 87,600 calories. Well, where'd that come from? Well, you take 2 tablespoons of oil, which is 240 calories. You multiply that by 365. Somebody, what is that? 365 days? What is it? That's a year, ain't it? That's 1 year. So imagine that you did nothing different. You didn't exercise anymore. You didn't change the way you ate. All you did is remove 2 tablespoons of oil out of your diet per day for 365 days in a row. Did you know that equals 87,600 calories? And did you know that if you divide that by 2,000, what's 2,000? 2,000 is the average suggested calorie per day per person, right? Anybody ever heard like average of 2,000 calories per day? Everybody's heard of that, right? Did you know if you divide 87,600 calories, because that's how many you'll remove by removing 2 tablespoons a day for 365 days. Did you know you'd lose the same amount of weight as if you fasted for 43.8 days? Because you'd be cutting 87,600 calories out of your diet by the end of the year. So reckon what would happen if you cut out 4? Reckon what would happen if you removed all oil? You didn't worry about avoiding your carbs. You didn't make any change other than that. You just remove oil and everything that oil is in. What? How much weight would you lose over the year? Wow. It's in crackers, y'all. It's in breads. It ain't just in donuts. Did you know they add extra oil to peanut butter? It's already high in fat. It's nuts. Then they add palm oil to it. Did you know that when you look at a bag of potato chips, 93% of the calories are not from the potato, it's from the oil that they're fried in. You move the oil, you remove the fat. When you remove the fat, you remove the fluff. And it happens fast. You want to remove fluff fast? Remove the fat. What's the highest calorie fat? What's the highest calorie ingredient that exists on planet Earth? Oil. How much weight would you lose if you ate nothing for 43.8 days? The answer? The same amount as you would if you remove only 2 tablespoons of oil per day for 365 days in a row. I bet all y'all can do that. And it probably won't take that much willpower because weight loss does not require willpower. We just think it does because we're using the wrong strategies, because we're not using an engineer's strategies, right? Mr. Vince Rountree, what you got for us? You got anything to tie us up with?
Man, you did such a good job covering and equating the number of calories that are in oil to the foods that we normally eat. And it's something that you need to I love the visualization. It reminded me a bit of the video that we just shot last week of an 8-ounce bag of potato chips that you can smash. I mean, you can smash an 8-ounce bag of chips. And that's the same calories as 4 pounds of potatoes. And there is no way in the world that you could eat 4 pounds of potatoes, but you can eat an 8-ounce bag of chips. But you can't eat that number of calories if it's just in the potatoes. So just eat the potatoes. And the main difference that makes that bag of chips have so many calories in such a little bit amount is because of the oil. So if you take potatoes and if you want to cut them up to the shape of fries, microwave them, and then air fry them to make them, microwave them, and then put your seasoning on it, and then air fry it, there's no oil in that. We have people that are losing weight and eating French fries for dinner. And you would think, no, wait a minute, if you eat French fries, there's no way you're losing weight. The other thing that blows my mind is in our 5-day challenge, how we have had people that they said the only thing they did different is remove the oil. And they lost 5 pounds in 5 days. Y'all hear what I'm saying? They didn't exercise. They didn't eliminate any other food, just oil. And in 5 days, lost 5 pounds. And it happens because the calorie density of oil is so incredibly high. Let's open it up for questions, see if anybody's got a question on it, because that just seemed, go ahead.
Before you run in there, I'm going to hold their feet to the fire for just a second longer, because I forgot to share something, and I'm glad I waited to share it, because I'm not going to let y'all off the hook. All right? Can I be tough on y'all? Wave at me if I can be tough on y'all. Wave at me. All right. Stacy says no. And everybody else is, you better turn off your camera or something, Stacy, because everybody else is waving at me. All right. Hey, let me ask y'all a question, because you're probably still thinking this right here, but this is what most people think. I don't use that much. I just don't use that much, Rawlin. Rawlin, I don't use that much. Well, let me ask y'all a question. If you eat a salad, what do you put on it? Let me ask you a question. Before you started being a food fixer with us, and this is a presentation I use for our food fixers. When you ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner, what did you have with it? Did you put some gravy on there? Right? Made with oil or made with lard, right? Gravy for your mashed potatoes, gravy on your steak, gravy on your turkey and dressing, right? A gravy and cheese sauces all over your nachos, right? Now, I want y'all to look at this for a second. Y'all see that ranch? Right? And I'm not picking on Hidden Valley. This is all of them, baby. All right? This is all of them, baby. What's the number one ingredient? What's the first ingredient? Did you know that when you read a food label, the first ingredient, it has more of that than anything else? Somebody tell me what that first ingredient is. Someone tell me what that first ingredient is.
Oil.
That's right, Stacy. Wait a minute. What about this honey mustard? What's that first ingredient, y'all? What's that first ingredient? Oil. Wait a minute. What about that creamy Caesar? First ingredient, soybean oil. Oh, look. Olive Garden's got our back. They waited till the second ingredient to use the oil. Balsamic vinaigrettes, Rawlin, but vinaigrettes are healthier. Well, maybe. What's the first ingredient? They certainly ain't going to help you in weight loss. Oh, I'm going to be real healthy. I'm not going, I don't do that balt stuff. I just use oil and vinegar on my salad. Virtually everything we love is baked, dipped, or drenched in something that's the main ingredient is oil. That's the whole reason why I developed food hacking. That's the whole reason we have our 5-day challenge. That's our whole reason we even are in business, because this game is the simplest game, the easiest game to lose weight, but it's the simplest game, may I say. It's not the easiest. Why is it not the easiest? Because everything that you know and love is already drenched in it. And so there's no escape unless you drive through the path of learning how to get yourself independent from the food manufacturers and food sauces and the food ingredients. Get yourself divorced from that area, and you learn how to do it yourself. And when you learn how to do it yourself, you're set free and you're able to move forward, and you never have to struggle with it again for the rest of your life. That's Rountree. Take some questions.
All right. So the only thing I wanted to say is our next 5-day challenge isn't until the next year, Monday, January 2nd. The sales page is not open yet, but if you click that link, you can put your name on the waiting list. And as soon as we open it up, we will send you an email and say, join us on our next challenge. I know you put your weight loss off. Now, listen, don't worry about Christmas. Eat all you want. But then join us on January the 2nd, and let's get this thing rocking and rolling. So just click that link and just put your name on the waiting list, and we'll send you an email when we open up that page. Now, Stan the Man or Layla, what kind of questions did you got for me? Or Stacy, Layla, I think, or Stan. Stan, you're up.
Vince, what I wanted to do is just share a little bit of information. Everybody probably knows it already because you guys have spoken about it before. But I've been listening to an audio book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. Amazing book, man. Amazing, right?
It
and
is.
He talks about a supernormal stimulus. All the manufacturers use this oil, the fat, the salt, and the sugar because they are supernormal stimulus to our brain.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
And I really thought, I've been hearing for years that the food manufacturers really chemically do stuff. The truth about it, I didn't pay that a lot of attention. I said, hey, this is what they do. They make foods, they put in there, and this is what it works. But they actually research.
That's right.
What is the perfect amount of crunch to be in a potato chip?
That's right.
How much oil really makes the brain just start firing? How much salt? I mean, they spend billions of dollars on this. And I heard that for years, and I thought that was not true. But it is. And junk food, as much as I love it, is a supernormal stimulant.
That's right.
Of regular food.
Not by accident either.
Not by accident. It really is not our fault. And I used to say boo-hoo to that craziness. Human beings make their own choices. We're responsible for our own, determination, our own willpower and all that. Let me tell you, it's rigged against us in a big way. I heard it said, it's not your fault. And how many times have you heard that? Oh, you're doing such and such. It's not your fault. This stuff has us hooked. It's not our fault.
That's exactly right.
Seriously, it is really engineered to addict us.
It's just like any other addiction. It's just an addiction.
Like
You just don't know they're addicts.
I figured out, when you know you have a sugar addiction,
Try to take it away.
Take it away for a few days and see if you don't get headache, your mood doesn't change and everything. Just about every one of us has a sugar addiction because everything got it in it. Try to detox from it. It's 6 times more addictive than cocaine.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And I know I've been hooked.
That-
and I'm working on it.
That's it. It is clearly by design.
By design.
And they have hired the best PhD chemists,
That's right.
and they conduct trials and samples, and they test it with thousands of people, and they put wires to their brain because they want to know what lights your brain up, because they got one objective and one objective only, and that's for you to buy more.
Mhm.
That's it. You buy one, it's like, oh my God, I got to have more. And their role, their objective is to make a profit for their shareholders. You think they care about your health? You think they care about your weight? You think they care about your family? They care about making money for their shareholders. And anything that you eat in a package that's got a whole bunch of ingredients, that's the design. And so that's why in our challenge, we break it down to eating foods that are grown: beans, corn, rice, vegetables, fruits. When you shopping in the produce aisle and you get, or you're getting whole grains, or you're getting beans, or you're getting lentils, or you're getting corn, when you're getting those types of foods and you look at the ingredients, and if it's in a package, like canned corn, the only ingredient I want to see is corn and water. That's all I want to see. If you get canned beans, that's okay. Only ingredient I want to see is beans and water. If it's anything else, if it's salt, okay, that's okay, but I put it in a colander and I rinse it off. But you don't want to see all of those other ingredients. You don't want to see oil. You don't want to see maltodextrose. You don't want to see all of these other ingredients that you need a chemistry degree to figure out what it is. You don't want, if you break it down and then what happens if you start eating foods that are grown from the ground and only ingredients in it are the natural foods? What happens when you see that? The body starts to heal itself. That's when we have people that says, oh my God, the doctor told me once a diabetic, always a diabetic. Now I'm not on any medication and my diabetes is gone. I'm not on any medication, my high blood pressure is gone. I'm not on any medication and my cholesterol is normal. I'm not on any medication and my joint pain went away. I'm not on any medication and it happened. My digestive issues are gone, because all of that stuff in the food is there to hook you, and slowly but surely it makes you sick. Now, you'll do fine for the first 30 years of your life, 30, 40 years, you fine. But then the joints start hurting, then the blood pressure start creeping up, then the cholesterol start creeping up, then the fat, oh my God, it's like, wait, my glucose levels. Because over time, all of those years of eating that stuff will take its toll. Oh my goodness, we put some stuff on you today. And now we 3 minutes over. My other time for questions is going. Rawlin, you want to say anything before I wrap up?
You go ahead and wrap up. I got all kinds of things I want to say, but I'm gonna hold on today.
I know. All right. Well, all I'll say is listen, click that link that I put in the chat. And Lisette, if you're still here, if you can copy that link that I put in the chat and put it in the Facebook group, we would be appreciative if you do that. Okay, very good. Thanks for the thumbs up. Got that.
I want to say this: if you've ever attended a Red Line Challenge, you really should attend a new one first of the year. We've made some changes to it. There's some differences to it, and there's some more differences coming. And so we've taken some things out, we've added some things, et cetera, et cetera. So I would recommend you do that, because it's. I mean, I can't imagine a more valuable program for
For $7. You're literally getting $300 worth of content for $7. I mean, it's
man vents all the time or back and forth. Like he said, I hate that we only charge $7 for this thing. And then a few weeks later, I'll be like, I hate that we charge $7 for this thing. But the purpose of it is to show prove to people that it doesn't, like, the information is what's important.
That's
It's not the product, it's not the pills, it's not the supplements, it's not the creams, it's not the electrical pads. It's the biggest move you can make. I'm not saying that there's not a place for any of those things. Sometimes there's a place for all those things. But Like, the food manufacturers are here's the biggest thing. Okay, I'm going to say this. Here's the biggest thing. I don't even blame the food manufacturers. I don't blame them at all. Do you know why?
Profit.
Because
Make a profit.
people tell them they want the tastiest food possible. And you know what? If they suddenly remove that high oil from a product, they'll immediately go out of business because people will eat it and they'll be like, that ain't no good. I don't want that. Right? It's like, what? Of course. So the people's got to learn through the information. They have to gain that knowledge. They have to understand from an engineering standpoint how their body functions and why it functions the way it does. And then they can demand different things. And I'm telling you what, the market will respond immediately, because that's what it does. That's what it does.
All right, man. We're 6 minutes over. Thank you, CC. Thank you, Stan the Man. Thank you, everybody that joined in. And listen, we're going to wrap up at this moment. And I just want to tell you this. I want to remind you that you only have one body in this lifetime. You only got one. When you look in the mirror, you only got one face, one torso. You got one body. If you don't take care of it, where are you going to live? You've only got one body in this lifetime. So eat as though your life depends on it, because it absolutely does. Food can heal. Food is the best medicine. If there were a pill that could do what plant-based nutrition would do, the pharmaceutical companies would sell it for $1 trillion. But there's not. Just eat more fruits, eat more vegetables, eat some beans, eat some brown rice, and the body will heal itself. My name is Vince Rountree. My co-host is Rawlin Vanatta. And we thank you for joining us on the Daily Huddle this Tuesday morning. And join the Daily Huddle each and every morning at 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. And you're guaranteed to learn something that can make an impact on your life. We thank you. We look forward to seeing you next week. And go ahead and roll that outro, Lisa.